boys and girls, to today's episode of A Blast from the Past. We have a very special guest today that we're going to present to you. A man by the name of George Washington Carver. It's very important that you pay very close attention because this man is going to let us in on a little bit of an insight into his life and follow as we question him and ask him a few things that makes him such a famous Missourian. Welcome to our show today, George Washington Carver. We're going to just jump right on into it. I have a few questions I want to ask you, and I'm sure the kids out there are wanting to know as well. Just a little bit of information about yourself. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to ask you, when and where were you born?
Well, you know, Mr. Evans, nobody knows exactly when I was born, but I estimate that I was born in 1864. You know, because my mother, while we was in Diamond, Missouri, was actually kidnapped along with myself by some men from Moses Carver. That was the gentleman who we stayed with at the time. And as they tried to retrieve us, I believe Moses tried to give up a horse to get us back, but I was the only one that returned. My mother was never found. So it was just me and my brother on Moses' farm.
The next question I want to ask you, George, is just simply, you look like a very smart and intelligent fellow, so would you mind letting us in on just some of your educational background?
Well, you know, Mr. Evans, it's a very interesting tale on all the things that I accomplished in my life. During my day, a colored boy such as myself could not attend the one-room school homes in the area of Diamond, Missouri. So to actually go to school, I found myself traveling to Neosho, Missouri, where I attended a school for colored individuals. And I heard that there was better schools in the state of Kansas for colored individuals like myself. So I traveled with the family over to Kansas to gain further education, and I really found myself, gaining a lot of knowledge. I was very skilled and talented at painting, and I did such a fabulous job with a lot of my work that I was recommended to apply to Highland College. Unfortunately, once I arrived to the college, they found out that I was black and denied me access. So I moved on and found myself in Iowa, where I attended Iowa Agricultural School and began to really understand and learn a lot more about the soil and how fertile it is and all the different types of things that can grow, which led to me really truly becoming a scientist. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what I would have done, but I found myself, after being on the faculty and getting a master's degree at Iowa, being welcomed by Booker T. Washington down to Tuskegee in Alabama. The rest is history.
George, if you don't mind me asking, what can you make of your personal life? Did you ever marry, or did you ever have children?
Well, you know, Mr. Evans, I never actually married or ever had any children. There's a funny thing about that. If you're very curious about that, I encourage you to study and learn more. But, I became very fascinated with all the different types of things that grew, and I was really devoted towards the advancement of colored people and devoted my life to educating them with purpose, because the great Creator gave us knowledge for free. So I felt only compelled that I share that knowledge in the same format for free and really pass on all that I have learned to not just, people in my area, but the world. It was very important because hunger became an issue at some point for a lot of people. And all the things that I have found out have been able to help people over time.
Now, George, I have to ask you just such a very important question at this moment because we need to drive home this point on who you are and what you mean to the history of Missouri. Not just the history of Missouri, but the history of the United States and the history of the world. So if you could just tell us one final thing about your life and to sum it all up into just as many great words as you can put together, what would it be?
Mr. Evans, I never really wanted to be famous. I just wanted to do something that was great, that benefited all mankind. And I found myself understanding more than what most other people understood. So, I guess you could say my devotion to the understanding of the vegetable that is the peanut and the sweet potato and a plethora of other different types of plants have led to me being recognized, deservedly so, but truly, I humble myself that if it weren't for the purpose of people needing things, maybe I would have never explored to find out what the answer to many of their questions would be. But people use words such as struggle and perseverance on my accord. But it's funny, I never saw it as a struggle. I just saw opportunity.
And there you have it, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us today to get a nice blast from the past on George Washington Carver himself. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Special shout out to Miss Fowler and the Fowler Network and all the great things that we accomplish in the world. I'm the host, Mr. Evans. Peace out.